The first thing I noticed when I woke up was the beeping. Steady, mechanical, like a metronome counting down the seconds of my new reality. The second thing I noticed was that I couldn't feel my legs, or much of anything below my chest, really. My name is Lauren, and this is the story of how my family stole $3 million from me while I was learning how to breathe again. "She's awake!" my mother's voice thick with what I thought was relief. "Lauren, honey, can you hear me?" I tried to speak, but my throat felt like sandpaper. A nurse appeared with ice chips, explaining I'd been intubated for several days after the accident. The drunk driver had hit my car head-on at 85 parser. "You're very lucky to be alive," the nurse said, her kind eyes meeting mine. "The airbag saved your life, but there was significant trauma to your spinal cord." My sister Lily was there too, holding my hand, tears streaming down her face. "I was so scared, Lauren. We thought we lost you." The next few weeks were a blur of doctors, medications, and terms I'd never wanted to learn. T4 complete spinal cord injury, paralysis, permanent disability. My mother handled everything: the insurance, the lawyers, the settlement negotiations. I was too medicated, too overwhelmed to question anything. "Don't worry about a thing," she'd say, smoothing my hair back like she did when I was little. "I'll take care of everything. You just focus on getting better." I remember the day they brought the guardianship papers. The morphine made the words swim on the page. "It's just temporary," my father said, hovering nervously by the bed. "So your mother can manage the settlement funds for your care." I signed. What else could I do? I couldn't even hold a pen properly yet. The first red flag came 3 months into my stay at the long-term care facility. Lily bounced into my room wearing head-to-toe Gucci, a bag I knew cost more than my old monthly salary hanging from her arm. "Do you like it?" she twirled, showing off the outfit. "Mum said I needed a pick-me-up after everything we've been through." Everything we've been through. As if she was the one learning how to use a catheter. My phone buzzed with banking alerts sometimes, large withdrawals, transfers. When I asked my mother about them, she'd wave it away. "Just medical expenses, dear. Everything's being properly documented. Trust me." I did trust her, until the day I heard them in the hallway, thinking I was asleep. "The Chanel boutique just got those new boots in," Lily was saying. "The ones I showed you? Well, we did just move that money from Lauren's therapy equipment fund," my mother replied. "She won't need the standing frame anymore anyway. It's not like she'll ever—" "Shh," Lily hissed. "She might hear you." "Oh, please," my mother's voice dripped with dismissal. "She's completely out of it most of the time. Besides, Lauren won't need much anymore. We might as well put the money to good use." I kept my eyes closed as they entered the room, maintained my steady breathing. But inside, something shifted, something hardened. My physical therapist, Fiona, came in later that day. She must have noticed something was off because she paused during our exercises. "Lauren, are you okay?" I hesitated. "Can I ask you something about patient confidentiality?" She set down her clipboard, giving me her full attention. "Of course, anything you tell me stays between us." "What happens when someone's family?" I swallowed hard. "When they take advantage? Financially?" Understanding dawned in her eyes. She glanced at the door, then lowered her voice. "I know some people who might be able to help, but first, tell me what's going on." I told her everything I'd overheard, about the guardianship papers I'd signed while heavily medicated, about Lily's sudden shopping sprees and my mother's evasive answers. "I can't move much yet," I said, frustration burning in my throat. "I can barely speak above a whisper, but I'm not stupid, and I'm not as helpless as they think." Fiona squeezed my hand. "No, you're not, and we're going to prove it." She pulled out her phone. "I'm going to give you a number. Her name is Dr. Watts. She's a therapist who specializes in cases like yours." Cases like mine? People who've been betrayed by the ones they trusted most. Fiona's eyes met mine, steel in her gaze. people who decide to fight back. I memorized the number, and for the first time since waking up in that hospital bed, I felt something other than despair. I felt purpose. Dr. Watts's office smelled like lavender and coffee. She sat across from me in my wheelchair, her notepad balanced on her knee, but she wasn't writing, just listening. "Tell me about Lily," she said. "What was your relationship like before the accident?" The memory hit me like a punch to the gut. Last Christmas, we stayed up until 3 a.m. wrapping presents together. She was telling me about her college applications, and I was helping her edit her essays. I smiled despite myself. We used to raid each other's closets, share everything. And now she raids my bank account instead. I gestured to the designer handbag receipt I'd managed to screenshot from my mother's email. $40,300 for a purse. That's what my sister's love costs, apparently. Dr. Watts leaned forward. "Lauren, what you're describing is financial abuse, and given the circumstances of your guardianship arrangement, potentially fraud." "I know, but how do I prove it? They have all the documentation, all the access." "I might know someone who can help. A forensic accountant named Abel. He specializes in cases like yours." Before she could elaborate, my phone buzzed. A text from Lily. "OMG, sis, wait till you see what Mum just got me." Minutes later, she burst into Dr. Watts's office, not even bothering to knock. She was wearing new Louboutin heels that clicked against the hardwood floor. "Lauren, look!" She thrust her wrist toward my face, a gleaming watch catching the light. "Cartier! Mum said it was to celebrate my first semester grades." Dr. Watts watched the interaction carefully as I forced a weak smile. "That's nice, Lily." "I know you probably don't care about this stuff anymore," Lily continued, oblivious to the tension. "But I thought you'd want to see. Oh, Mum wants to know if you need anything from the pharmacy." "Just my dignity," I muttered. "What?" "Nothing. Tell her I'm fine." After Lily left, Dr. Watts broke the silence. That was illuminating. "You mean disgusting?" "Both?" She wrote something on a card. "Call Abel. Tell him I sent you. And, Lauren, start keeping records of everything. Screenshots, recordings, anything you can get your hands on." That evening, during physical therapy, Fiona helped me practice sitting up straighter in my chair. My upper body strength was improving, even if my legs remained useless. "Remember when we first met?" she asked, adjusting my position. "You couldn't even hold your head up for more than a few minutes." "Yeah, and now I can almost punch someone. Progress." She laughed, then grew serious. "How did it go with Dr. Watts?" "She's going to help me build a case, but I need access to bank statements, documents." I hesitated. "Things my mother keeps managing for me. Leave that to me." Fiona grabbed her phone. "I'll request copies of all your medical equipment orders for therapy planning purposes. Your mother won't suspect anything from me." As if summoned by our conversation, my mother appeared in the doorway. "Lauren, darling, how are you feeling?" "Same as always, Mom. Paralyzed." She flinched but recovered quickly. "Well, I have good news. I've arranged for us to meet with the financial advisor next week. We need to discuss reallocating some of your settlement funds." "Reallocating?" "Yes, well, since you won't be needing certain equipment we originally planned for." She glanced at her expensive watch. "New," I noticed. "We thought we could put that money to better use." "Better use than helping me function independently." "Don't be dramatic, dear. You know we only want what's best for you." After she left, Fiona squeezed my shoulder. "You okay?" I stared at the door where my mother had been standing. "You know what hurts the most? I keep remembering all these moments from before. Birthday parties she threw for me. Times she took care of me when I was sick. Was it all fake? Or did she just stop loving me when I became an inconvenience?" "Hey!" Fiona moved to face me. "This isn't about love. It's about greed, and we're going to make it right. That night, I lay in my bed, listening to Lily's Instagram stories playing from the next room. Her voice carried through the wall. Another amazing shopping day, living my best life thanks to my amazing family. I pulled out my phone and dialed Abel's number. "This is Abel," a clipped voice answered. "My name is Lauren. Dr. Watts gave me your number. I need help proving my family stole my settlement money." There was a pause, then, "How much are we talking about?" "3 million, maybe more." "Tell me everything." As I began to speak, I heard Lily's laughter through the wall, accompanied by the distinct sound of shopping bags rustling. My fingers tightened around the phone. "Game on, little sister." Abel was exactly what you'd expect a forensic accountant to look like. Precise, methodical, with reading glasses that he constantly adjusted while reviewing documents. We met in a private room at the care facility, with Fiona standing guard outside. "Your mother's been busy," he said, spreading papers across the table. "In the past 8 months, she's withdrawn over $800,000 from your settlement account." My stomach lurched. For what? Let's see. A down payment on a beach house listed under her name, multiple wire transfers to luxury retailers, and he adjusted his glasses again, roughly $180,000 in fashion purchases for your sister. Jesus Christ, that's not all. He pulled out another document. "These are orders for medical equipment, specialized wheelchair, standing frame, adaptive bed, all ordered, then cancelled. The refunds went to a separate account your mother opened. I remembered asking about that equipment. She'd told me it was on back order." "What about my father?" I asked. "His signature appears on several documents, including this one." Abel slid a paper across the table. "A request to permanently cancel your physical therapy sessions dated next month." "They're planning to stop my therapy." My voice cracked. "It appears so. The document claims you've reached maximum improvement potential." The door opened and Fiona slipped in. "Your mother's here, earlier than expected." "Hide everything," Abel whispered, quickly gathering the papers. My mother breezed in just as Abel tucked the last document into his briefcase. "Who's this?" she asked, eyes narrowing. "Insurance representative," Fiona jumped in smoothly. "Routine review." "I see." My mother's smile didn't reach her eyes. "Well, I'm sure you're finished now. Lauren needs her rest." After they left, my mother perched on the edge of my bed. "Darling, I've been thinking, maybe we should move you home soon. This facility is so expensive, and you're not making much progress anyway." "What about my therapy?" "Oh, honey," she patted my hand, "we have to be realistic. Some things just aren't meant to be." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all the equipment I'd never received, the therapy sessions they planned to cancel. My phone lit up with a text from Abel. "Found something big. Your mother bought a house. In your name. Without your knowledge." I stared at the message until my vision blurred. Then another text came through, this one from Lily. "Got invited to Fashion Week in Paris. Mum says we can use some of your medical funds since you won't need it all anyway. Love you, sis." The next morning, Fiona helped me practice using my arms more effectively. "You're getting stronger," she noted. "Strong enough to strangle someone." "Lauren, I'm kidding, mostly." I took a breath. "They're planning to stop my therapy." "I know, I saw the paperwork." She helped me adjust my position. "But they don't know something." "What's that?" "You can move your right hand more than they think, and you're getting better at speaking clearly." She smiled. "We've been documenting your progress secretly. When the time comes, it'll prove they lied about your improvement potential." Later that day, during what was supposed to be my rest period, Abel returned with more documents. "Your mother's been billing for home healthcare services you never received," he said. "The signatures are forged, and this," He pointed to a series of transactions. Shows she's been systematically moving money into offshore accounts. How much evidence do we need? We have enough to file a preliminary case, but if we wait 2 more weeks, we can catch them in an even bigger lie. He showed me a pending transaction. They're planning to sell your apartment, the one you owned before the accident. Your mother falsified documents claiming you're mentally incompetent to manage your affairs. My hands shook with rage. 2 weeks! 2 weeks! Can you keep playing along until then? I thought about my mother's smug smile, Lily's casual cruelty, my father's cowardly silence. Oh, I can play along, I forced a smile. I've gotten really good at playing the helpless invalid. Just then, my phone buzzed with an alert, $23,000 withdrawn from my account. The description read, medical equipment cancelled. They're getting bolder, Abel observed. No, I corrected him, they're getting careless. And that's exactly what we need. I heard Lily's voice in the hallway, showing off her new shoes to a nurse. They're limited edition, only 10 pairs in the world. Abel gathered his evidence. 2 weeks, Lauren, then we end this. I watched him leave, then picked up my phone with my increasingly steady right hand. Time to start recording every conversation, saving every text, documenting every lie. They thought they'd buried me. They didn't realize I was planting seeds. The invitation to Lily's 20th birthday party arrived on expensive cardstock with gold foil lettering. Join us for a night of luxury at the Grand Hotel's Skyline Suite, it read. My mother handed it to me personally. We thought it would be good for you to get out, she said, smoothing her designer dress. The hotel is wheelchair accessible. How thoughtful of them to spend my money on a venue I could actually enter. The party was exactly what you'd expect from someone who'd blown through nearly $1 million of stolen money. Champagne fountains, crystal centerpieces, a 5-tier cake that probably cost more than most people's rent. And there was Lily, holding court in a custom Valentino dress, surrounded by her equally privileged friends. "Lauren!" she squealed when she saw me tottering over on 6-inch heels. "I'm so glad you came. Isn't everything perfect?" How much did all this cost?" I asked, keeping my voice weak and tired, just like they expected. "Oh, don't worry about that," my mother cut in quickly. "You should be grateful someone's enjoying life." I watched as Lily's friend Amy snapped photos for Instagram, carefully arranging shots of the designer gift bags and premium liquor bottles. "Perfect," she chirped, adding hashtags Chat Birthday, Queen Clag Sponsored, Bisis, Sap Blessed. If she only knew. Dr. Watts found me later, hiding in a quiet corner of the suite. She'd come under the pretense of being a family friend. "How are you holding up?" she asked softly. "They're serving $1,000 champagne," I whispered. "Paid for with money that was supposed to buy me a wheelchair that actually fits." "Lauren, the cake, $5,000. The flowers, $8,000. That dress she's wearing?" I gripped my armrest. $30,000. I know because Abel showed me all the receipts. "We can leave if this is too much." "No." I forced myself to watch as Lily opened presents, more designer goods, more expensive toys. "I need to see everything, document everything." My father approached, champagne in hand. "Princess, are you enjoying yourself?" "Princess." He hadn't called me that since before the accident, before he became complicit in stealing my future. "Just tired," I mumbled, playing my part. "The medication." Of course. He shifted uncomfortably. "Your mother mentioned we might bring you home soon. The facility is getting expensive." "Is that why you signed papers to cancel my therapy?" He froze. "How did you—" "Dad!" Lily called out. "Come take pictures." He practically ran away from me. Later that night, back in my room at the facility, I finally broke down. Dr. Watts sat with me as I sobbed. I remember teaching her how to ride a bike, I choked out, helping her with homework, holding her when her first boyfriend broke up with her. How could she do this to me? Sometimes people show who they really are when money's involved. I trusted them. They were my family. Were being the operative word, Dr. Watts said gently. Family doesn't steal your chance at independence. My phone buzzed. Another Instagram notification. Amy had posted more party photos. Lily posing with the custom ice sculpture. My mother showing off her new tennis bracelet. My father raising a toast with top-shelf whiskey. I want them to pay, I whispered. Not just legally. I want them to feel what I felt, the betrayal, the helplessness. That's natural, Lauren, but remember. I know. Revenge won't make me walk again. No, Dr. Watts corrected. I was going to say remember to be smart about it. Channel that anger into action. Fiona came in then, carrying what looked like a tablet. Ready to try the new adaptive technology? I wiped my eyes. What is it? Voice-activated controls, eye-tracking software, and, she grinned, a secure email account they don't know about. For the first time that night, I smiled. Show me. We spent the next hour learning how to use the equipment. By the end, I could navigate basic commands, type short messages, and access files independently. Perfect timing, Dr. Watts said. Abel's filing the initial paperwork tomorrow. I looked at my phone one last time. Lily had posted again. Best birthday ever. So blessed to have such a generous family. I opened my new secure email account and typed my first message to Abel. I'm ready. File everything. The party might have been Lily's birthday celebration, but tomorrow would be my Independence Day, and they wouldn't see it coming. The first sign that something was wrong came when my mother's credit cards were declined at Neiman Marcus. I know this because Lily called me in a panic. Lauren, something's weird with the accounts, she said. Mum's freaking out. That sounds stressful, I replied, watching Abel sort through documents across the room. Have you tried using your own money? The silence on the other end was deafening. An hour later, my mother stormed into my room, waving a formal-looking envelope. What is this? A fraud investigation? Oh, that, I said calmly. Yes, someone's been stealing my settlement money. Isn't it terrible? Her face went white. Lauren, whatever you think you're doing. I'm not doing anything, I interrupted, my voice stronger than she'd heard it in months. The forensic accountant is doing it. The lawyers are doing it. The federal investigators are doing it. Lawyers? What lawyers? Right on cue, Abel stepped out of the bathroom. Those would be my colleagues. He adjusted his glasses. Mrs. Lawson, I believe you've been served. She ripped open the envelope, hands shaking. This is ridiculous. I'm your mother. I was taking care of you. Taking care of me? I laughed. By buying Lily an $8,000 handbag while cancelling my medical equipment orders? You don't understand. No, you don't understand. I pressed the button on my new adaptive controls, bringing up documents on my tablet. But maybe these bank statements will help explain it. Or the forged medical forms. Or the offshore accounts. The door opened again. This time it was Amy, Lily's friend from the birthday party, accompanied by 2 investigators. "Amy?" My mother's voice cracked. "What are you doing here?" "Telling the truth," Amy replied. She turned to the investigators. Mrs. Lawson asked me to help create fake receipts for medical expenses. She said it was to help with taxes. But then I saw what they were really doing with Lauren's money. My mother sank into a chair. You don't know what you're talking about. Really? I pulled up more documents. So you didn't use my settlement money to bribe college officials for Lily? Amy has the emails, Mom. All of them. The colour drained from her face completely. And here's my favourite part, I continued, my voice steady. The house you bought in my name, the one you forged my signature for, it's being seized as evidence of fraud. You can't do this to us, she whispered. We're family. Family? I leaned forward in my wheelchair. Family doesn't steal $3 million from their paralyzed daughter. Family doesn't forge documents to cancel medical care. Family doesn't use their sister's tragedy as a personal ATM. The investigators stepped forward. Mrs. Lawson, we need you to come with us. We have some questions about these financial discrepancies. As they led her out, my father appeared in the doorway. He took one look at the scene and seemed to age 10 years. Lauren, please, he begged. We can explain everything. Save it for the deposition, Dad. I turned to Abel. How long until the emergency hearing? Tomorrow morning. Judge Todd is taking this case personally. He has strong feelings about families who exploit disabled relatives. After everyone left, Fiona came in to check on me. You okay? I just watched my mother get escorted out by fraud investigators. I stared at my hands. I should feel terrible, right? You should feel however you feel. My phone buzzed, a text from Lily. How could you do this to us? Mum's crying, Dad's a mess, you're destroying this family. I showed Fiona the message. The funny thing is, they destroyed it themselves. They just didn't expect me to notice. Or fight back, she added. Miss Lauren? A nurse poked her head in. There's a young woman here to see you. Says her name is Amy. Amy entered, clutching her designer bag nervously. I brought more evidence, she said, pulling out a USB drive. Screenshots of Lily bragging about spending your money, videos of your mum coaching me on creating fake receipts. Why are you helping me? I asked. She bit her lip. Because what they did was wrong, and because Lily, she wasn't just spending your money, she was laughing about it, making jokes about how you'd never know. I took the USB drive. Thank you. After Amy left, I sent one final email to Abel. Tomorrow morning, let's finish this. My phone buzzed again. Another angry text from Lily. I turned it off without reading it. Tomorrow, they'd learn exactly how much I'd noticed, how much I'd documented, and how badly they'd underestimated the paralyzed daughter they thought they could rob blind. Tomorrow, justice would have its day in court. The discovery hearing was set for 9 a.m., but my father showed up at my room at 7, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Can we talk? He asked, hovering in the doorway. I pressed the record button on my phone. Sure, Dad. Let's talk about how you helped Mum forge my signature on medical equipment cancellations. He collapsed into the chair beside my bed. I never wanted any of this. Your mother, she said we deserve some compensation for taking care of you. Taking care of me? I activated my tablet, pulling up the evidence. Is that what you call this? A $12,000 golf club membership? A luxury cruise while I was learning how to feed myself again? Lauren, please. No, keep talking. The recording device is working perfectly. He froze. You're recording this? Just like I recorded everything else. Every conversation, every admission, every time you and Mum thought I was too medicated to understand what was happening. We were going to pay it back, he stammered. With what money? The money you stole from me to pay for Lily's fake college credentials? His face crumpled. I signed those forms because your mother said. Because she said to? Yeah, that's your excuse for everything, isn't it? I leaned forward. Tell me something, Dad. When you were cancelling my physical therapy sessions, did you think about what that meant for me? Did you care that you were stealing my chance at independence? Before he could answer, Fiona appeared. It's time to head to the courthouse. The discovery hearing was held in a small courtroom. My mother sat with her lawyer, wearing significantly less expensive clothes than usual. Lily was there too, furiously typing on her phone until the bailiff made her put it away. Judge Todd studied the documents before him, his expression growing darker by the minute. Mrs. Lawson, he finally said, would you care to explain why you cancelled your daughter's medical equipment orders and then used those funds to purchase? He checked the papers. Designer handbags? Your Honour, my mother's lawyer interjected, My client was acting within her rights as legal guardian. A guardianship, the judge interrupted, that was obtained while the victim was heavily medicated and recovering from trauma. A guardianship that, according to these medical records, should never have been granted in the first place. He held up more documents. I have here evidence of systematic fraud, embezzlement, and financial abuse. Bank statements showing millions diverted from medical care to personal expenses, forged documents, falsified medical assessments. Lily started crying. My mother stared straight ahead. And this, the judge continued, this is perhaps most disturbing. Evidence that you used stolen funds to bribe college officials and create false academic credentials for your younger daughter. We were just trying to secure her future, my mother burst out, by destroying mine. I spoke up, my voice clear and strong. The room fell silent. Your Honour, Abel stepped forward. We have audio recordings of the defendants admitting to these crimes. We also have testimony from multiple witnesses, including Ms. Amy Waters, regarding the systematic nature of this fraud. The judge nodded. I've heard enough. This case will proceed to full trial. Given the evidence presented, I'm ordering an immediate freeze on all accounts connected to the settlement funds. Furthermore, the guardianship is hereby revoked, retroactive to the date it was fraudulently obtained. My mother's face went slack. Lily stormed out, sobbing. One more thing, the judge added. Given the nature and extent of this fraud, I'm recommending this case for criminal prosecution. The FBI's Financial Crimes Unit will be very interested in those offshore accounts. After the hearing, my father tried to approach me one last time. Lauren, what can I do to fix this? I looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time since this began. You know what's funny, Dad? I keep thinking about when I was little, how you taught me that actions have consequences. Remember that? He nodded miserably. Well, here we are. Actions, I gestured to the courtroom, meet consequences. Fiona wheeled me out of the courthouse. My mother was sitting on a bench outside staring into space. Lily was nowhere to be seen. How do you feel? Fiona asked. I watched my mother, the woman who'd once kissed my scraped knees and checked for monsters under my bed, now facing the reality of what she'd done. I paused, searching for the right word. I feel free. My phone buzzed. A text from Abel. Criminal charges being filed tomorrow. You did it. No, I thought. They did it to themselves. I had just shown them exactly what a paralyzed daughter was capable of. The final trial took place 3 months later. I wore a blue blazer over my hospital gown, and Fiona had helped me style my hair. Looking professional while paralyzed is its own kind of challenge. Ready? Dr. Watts asked, meeting us outside the courtroom. I've been ready since the day I heard them planning to cancel my therapy. The courtroom was packed. Financial abuse cases rarely draw crowds, but something about my story had caught the media's attention. Maybe it was the Instagram post Lily had made, flaunting her stolen wealth. Maybe it was the recorded conversations of my mother dismissing my needs while planning luxury vacations. My family sat at the defendant's table, my mother in a plain black dress, no designer labels this time. My father looking decades older than his age. Lily, wearing drugstore makeup instead of Chanel, continuously wiping tears. The prosecutor stood. Your Honour, the evidence will show that the defendant systematically defrauded Lauren of over $3 million in settlement funds meant for her medical care and rehabilitation. My mother's lawyer argued it was all a misunderstanding, that they'd meant to repay everything, that they were just trying to maintain the family's standard of living during a difficult time. Then it was my turn to speak. Fiona positioned my wheelchair facing the judge. I took a deep breath, looking at the statement I'd prepared on my tablet. Then I set it aside. I didn't need it. I remember the day I woke up paralyzed, I began, my voice steady. My first thought wasn't about walking again. It was relief that my family was there, that I wasn't alone. I looked directly at my mother. You held my hand and promised to take care of everything, and you did. You took care of my bank accounts, my property, my settlement. You took it all. Lily sobbed loudly. I continued. While I was learning how to breathe on my own again, you were shopping for designer clothes. While I was fighting for every inch of movement in physical therapy, you were planning vacations with my money. While I was learning to feed myself, you were buying beach houses and luxury cars. The judge leaned forward, listening intently. But here's what you didn't steal, I said, my voice growing stronger. You didn't steal my mind. You didn't steal my will to fight. And you didn't steal my ability to see exactly what you were doing. I activated my tablet, displaying the evidence on the courtroom screens. These are the therapy sessions you cancelled. This is the medical equipment you returned for refunds. These are the fake invoices you created. And these, I pulled up Lily's Instagram posts, are the ways you spent that money instead. My father wouldn't meet my eyes. My mother's face had turned to stone. Your Honour, I concluded, they didn't just steal money. They stole my chance at independence. They stole my trust. They stole my belief in family. And they did it all while telling me it was for my own good. The judge took only 30 minutes to deliver his verdict. The evidence of fraud is overwhelming, he declared. The defendants are ordered to repay the full amount stolen, plus triple damages as prescribed by law. Furthermore, given the egregious nature of this betrayal, I'm ordering additional punitive damages of $2 million. My mother gasped. The total would bankrupt them completely. But money isn't enough, the judge continued. I'm recommending maximum sentences for the criminal charges. Mrs. Lawson, you're looking at 15 years for fraud and embezzlement. Mr. Lawson, 10 years for conspiracy and accessory. And Lily, you'll serve 5 years for knowingly accepting stolen funds. Lily collapsed in tears. My mother's lawyer immediately began talking about appeals. One more thing, the judge added. Ms. Lauren, the court recognises your extraordinary courage in pursuing justice. Your settlement funds will be restored and placed in a secure trust of your choosing. As the bailiff led my family away, my mother turned to me one last time. We're still your family, she said desperately. No, I replied quietly. You're just the people who taught me how strong I really am. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited with cameras and microphones, but I had nothing left to say. Fiona wheeled me to the waiting van, Dr. Watts walking beside us. How do you feel? Dr. Watts asked. I watched as my family was led to separate police cars, their designer lives stripped away, their futures now as confined as they'd tried to make mine. I searched for the right words. I feel like I can finally start healing. The real kind of healing. My phone buzzed. A message from Abel. Justice served. Yes, I thought. Justice served indeed, and served cold, just like they deserved. The morning sun streams through the windows of my new apartment. Everything is at the right height. Counters, switches, shelves, no more struggling to reach things, no more depending on others for basic tasks. The settlement money finally went where it was meant to go. My phone rings. It's Dr. Watts. Turn on the news, she says without preamble. The headline scrolls across my screen. Mother and daughter's prison sentences upheld in multi-million-dollar medical fund fraud case. There's my mother in her prison uniform, my sister being led away in handcuffs. My father already started his sentence last month. How are you feeling about it? Dr. Watts asks. Honestly, nothing. I adjust my position in my custom wheelchair, the one I should have had from the beginning. I'm too busy living. Speaking of living, are you ready for tomorrow? The speech, as ready as I'll ever be. After we hang up, Fiona arrives for our session. She's not just my physical therapist anymore. She's become family, the real kind. "Look what came in the mail," she says, holding up an envelope. "It's the final restitution check, plus damages. The amount is staggering." "What are you going to do with it?" she asks, helping me stretch. I already know. I pull up a document on my tablet. I'm starting a foundation for disabled people whose families have stolen their settlement money. It happens more often than anyone talks about. That's perfect, actually. The first grant goes out next week to a girl whose parents did exactly what mine did. She needs a wheelchair van. Fiona smiles. "You're turning poison into medicine." A notification pops up on my phone, an email from Amy, Lily's former friend. "Thought you should see this." Attached is a letter from Lily, written from prison. "Dear Lauren," it begins, "I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I was selfish and cruel. The worst part is, I didn't even think about what I was doing to you. I just liked having nice things. Now I have nothing, and I deserve nothing." I delete it without reading further. Maybe someday I'll be ready for her apologies. Today isn't that day. "Ready to practice your speech?" Fiona asks. I navigate my wheelchair to the living room mirror. Smooth, controlled movements. My arms are stronger now, my posture confident. "Welcome to the first annual summit on financial abuse of disabled individuals," I begin. "My name is Lauren, and my family stole $3 million from my medical settlement." The doorbell rings. It's Abel, carrying more files. "3 more cases," he says. "All families stealing medical settlements, all looking for justice." "Send them to me," I tell him. "I'll help them fight." He adjusts his glasses. "You've started something, you know. People are finally talking about this." Later that evening, as the sun sets over the city, I sit by my floor-to-ceiling windows. Windows I can actually see out of, because everything in this apartment was designed for me, not against me. My phone buzzes with a text from Dr. Watts. "Saw your mother's appeal was denied. You okay?" I type back, "Better than okay. I'm free." And I am. Free from their theft, their lies, their false concern. Free to live my life on my terms, in my space, with my money going where it should have gone all along. To making my life better, not funding their luxuries. The final piece of mail arrives. Confirmation of my foundation's non-profit status. The Lauren Recovery Project, fighting financial abuse of disabled individuals. I place it on my desk next to tomorrow's speech notes and the files of new cases needing help. My wheelchair glides smoothly across the hardwood floors as I prepare for bed. All the equipment I need within perfect reach. This isn't the life I planned. It's not the family I thought I had. But maybe it's the life I was meant to find. One where I can help others fight back. Where justice isn't just a word, but an action. I look out at the city lights, thinking about tomorrow's speech, about the other cases waiting for help, about the foundation that will carry this fight forward. They thought they buried me. Instead, they planted a seed of justice that will grow far beyond what they could have imagined. My phone lights up one last time. A message from a stranger. "I read about your case. My parents are doing the same thing to me. Can you help?" I smile and begin to type. "Yes, and here's how we're going to fight back."